motivation to do research. If somebody asks me that, can anyone do research? I can say yes, if he or she is motivated. The main fuel for conducting the research is the motivation. Without motivation, actually, you cannot do the research, because you know this thing. PhD can be pretty tough, lonely, and frustrating at times. You might have heard from the somebody, those who are doing the PhD. You might have seen the story, their story, and they might be telling you that, okay, we are much frustrated, or we are okay, we don't find time to contact somebody, we don't want find time to go in the gathering or functions, we feel lonely, and sometimes result may not be at, as you expect, so you may get frustration. So this kind of word you might be hearing everywhere. So PhD can be pretty tough, lonely, and frustrating. This is the belief. If the PhD is the research degree, for doing the PhD, you know that it is not an easy job. That's why everyone is not going able to do the PhD. And while you are going to do the PhD, you may feel sometimes that it is tough job, or you may feel lonely, or you may feel that, okay, this is the kind of frustration you are going to achieve, and still you are eager to do the research work. So why you are actually interested? The only thing is motivation. If you are motivated, then I think that even PhD course or class you don't require for you. So motivation is the only key things. If you are motivated, then you can have the research. But for the motivation, how this motivation can come? So you may have some criteria. You may have seen that on achieving the PhD, you may find some kind of things like career prospects. So you are even the PhD, doing the PhD is very tough job. Then you may be think that, okay, career prospects. Nowadays, most research says that students are joining the PhD because of the career prospects. So even nowadays in India also, you know that in PhD degree is must for the academic environment, and everyone is going for the PhD. So this is the, actually, I don't think that this is the motivation actually. This is the requirement, and you are actually, if you are joining the PhD course for the career prospect, for the getting promotions, or for like this, because this is the requirement for achieving the academic heights, then this is not the motivation, big motivation I can think. This is the requirement, just you are going to fulfill the requirement, and you are forced to do the PhD for fulfilling that requirement, whether or not you are interested. As you are not interested in research, but still you are forced that, okay, you have to conduct the research, you have to do the research. So if that kind of mindset is there, that, okay, you are not interested at all in the research, but you are forced to do the research because nowadays you cannot achieve the academic heights, academic positions, if you are not having the PhD. So this is not the kind of motivation I can think, but most of the students nowadays, they are joining the PhD program with intuition to get the career prospect. What important thing I see is that passion to do the research. You must have the passion. So if you are fond of for doing the research, then this is, you can do the PhD. Then irrespective of the hurdles, irrespective of the troubles you will get, if you have the passion, if you are interested to go for some new contribution, if you think that, okay, now society is going to see on you, and you have to deliver something to the society, as this is the responsibility. You have learned several kind of knowledge, you have done PG, undergraduate courses, studied several courses, you might have seen several academic environment, research and development, and on behalf of your experience, what stuff you are going to produce to the society. And if you might be observing the problems around your you are living, and you may be interested to solve those kind of problems because you are the intellectual one, you have sufficient knowledge and you have sufficient background to develop the theory in order to solve the problems for the common persons. So you must have the passion. This is one thing. And most of the times people think that, okay, see, as soon as you have started the PhD course, means as soon as you have admitted to the PhD programs, actually the seed has been planted on you. And after 2 years time or 3 years time, if you are not getting any result, and you may get frustration that, okay, I'm not getting any result, and I have wasted the 3 years of time, I have wasted 2 years of time. See, you may be criticizing yourself, but see that you don't know when your results will come. So sometimes results comes late, sometimes results you will find the results early stages. So you don't worry, you must have the passion, you must have the patience in while you are going to do the PhD. So you can motivate yourself by thinking that you are investing in yourself. While you are going to do the PhD, this is the investment you are going to do. We are health conscious, you know that every morning you are going for the walk, or you are doing some kind of meditations. Why it is so? Because you are investing for your body so that you can be healthy enough. And the same thing is here. While you are going to do the research work, you are going to give the investment. So this is the investment. PhD is not a bad thing. This is not the use and throw. This is the investment you are doing for yourself. And you will have the sense of excitement. Yes, you are curious that, okay, I will solve this problem. Why I cannot solve this problem? If Einstein has given the equation E is equal to MC, and EM is equal to MC square, then why you cannot contribute? Even a small contribution, so that your society may know that, okay, some ancestor has given this kind of invention, and on behalf of that your generation may further give some advancement, and the theory may be further advanced on behalf of your contribution. So you must have some excitement while you are doing some work at the undergraduate level, or you might have done your work at the PG level. At that time you might have thought that, okay, if I will get time in future, then I will expand this area in detail. So this kind of excitement you should have. So once you are having the excitement within you, then it is your way will become the way of conducting the research will become very comfortable for you. You will be comfortable for doing the PhD and want to be an expert. This is one thing you need to know, that while you are going to do the PhD, actually you are collecting the information. Now you will become the source of information in the future, and people will come to you and they will uh, take the proper information and they will take the proper guidance, as you have invested a lot of time while conducting the research in a specific field, and you will be having the sufficient knowledge on that field, and in the future you will be known as the leader of that field. So this kind of expertise you will develop while you are going to do the PhD. So even you think that PhD is not a easy job, PhD is very tough job, but once you think that you will get good career opportunities, and you are fascinated for conducting the research, you have the interest for learning the new things, and you believe that you are investing on yourself, and you will have some kind of curiosity to explore the area, or you might have some excitement to contribute to the society so that they can get the benefit, as you are not the common person now. So how you are going to solve the problems for the common person? So people are looking, society is looking at you, and it's your responsibility actually to give something, whatever you have taken from the society, you have to give them in the form of some kind of solution of the problem. So if you think in your mind that, okay, if you are having the things like passion, interest, if you believe that you are investing in yourself, if you believe that you have the sense of excitement, curiosity to learn something, and if you want to become leader in your field, then see, the job will become very simple. Even PhD is a very tough job, and who are having on those who are only uh, focusing on their goal that okay, after PhD, as soon as I will earn PhD, my promotion will be there. And so as you are counting the days that when my PhD will complete. So while you are going to do the PhD, you should not worry about the time. It may take 2 years time, it may take 3 years time, it doesn't matter. You should not worry about the boundary of the time. You should worry about your contributions when you are going to give the sufficient contribution. So you should not worry about the time. But if you are having only the goal that okay, after the PhD, my promotion is due, I'm waiting for the promotions, or I'm waiting for the jobs, or like the things, then you may not be able to go for the very good kind of research, novel research, as your objective is different. So make your mindset a free mindset, okay, and relax yourself and see that your PhD degree is the carry bag to you, and it will automatically come to you. You don't worry about the PhD degree. You should worry that how you can achieve the PhD. So for achieving the PhD, actually you have to do the research. It is very simple. And doing the research is not a you have learned number of things. You have in the undergraduate classes you have learned 20-25 subjects. In PG classes you have learned 10-12 subjects. And in your experience you have learned several things. You have interacted the people and you have sufficient background to earn the PhD to do the because you have the mind setup and same the E is equal to mc square has been developed and other scientists notable scientists you might have studied their biography of the notable scientists. They have the same times but they were having the feeling that they need to contribute. They have some feeling. So you just always you think for some kind of contribution and don't feel that the time if you see the time then you may not give the proper contribution. So once you go for study, people generally once they go to their research lab, they forget about the time because if you say that okay, I will work only 1 hour time or I will work only half an hour time, then you will always remember the deadlines of your time. So this kind of deadline should not be there. You should involve in the PhD. You should involve in the research and 10 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever time you are going to spend, you should not feel that burden. So this you need to develop actually. While going for the PhD degree, actually, you are going to develop the important transferable skills. So after obtaining the PhD degree, you will have several skills. You will means automatically the skills have been developed, and that skills now you will use wherever you are working, whether you are working in the IT field or whether you are working in the academic environment, research teaching and research environment, wherever you are working. No, it is not important. But after the PhD degree, you will see a lot of transformation on you and you are learning a lot of skills after completion of the PhD. But question is that you have to genuinely work on the PhD. It should not happen that you should have only degree and nothing else. So once you have the original contribution and once you are able to publish your work in good platform, like where people mainly most of the people access such platforms, such research forums. If you are able to contribute on such research forums, then see that you are indirectly you are going to develop many skills. So actually while you are going to do the PhD, you are going to learn how to solve the problems. So this is also one skills. It is not a, so you need to develop that how solutions can come, how you can solve the problems. Like if you are having the professional courses, in the professional courses, people actually knows that okay, if you are not able to solve the problem, you need to know that who will solve the problems. So here you have to learn how problems can be solved, how to find relevant information. This is also one very important thing. So if you and this thing you need to develop, like in the last today in some students in the my research tool class have asked that okay how I can get the research papers. So this is you will learn actually. So how to find the relevant information, what are research papers, what are the contribution in the line of your work, you need to learn actually. So you have to learn the problem solving skills, you have to learn that from where if the information required, if the data you need data, then you need to know that where to find the data. So you have to develop the skills like this. And after completion of the PhD you will be able to work independently. This is one of the main important things you should do. During the PhD programs, you are having with your supervisor, you are having with your guide, and your guide supervisor is going to say that yes, you can go for the literature survey and you can study this kind of paper, you should go for this paper, this is the, if you show the papers you have searched, they will tell you that okay this is the paper where you can start, and this kind of guidance you are getting from your supervisors. But see that at the same times you have to learn this. If your supervisor, how supervisor is going to tell that okay this is the line of why he knows, how he knows that? So he has also developed the skills like this. So after completion of the PhD you should be independent enough so that you can guide that okay in this way you can proceed the research, in this way you can, at least your child, you can guide your students, your child, or anybody who is interested in the research, you can at least guide that okay you this kind of information you can find here. So the way of solving the problem, we have to find the relevant information and become independent, so that independently after completion of the PhD you don't require any supervisor, you don't require any mentor or any guide, because see, during the research work you have learned, you will develop lot of skills, where to find the information and where to publish the research work, how to write the research papers, and how to communicate your ideas, all such things you need to develop. And most is that you will also give the equal priority for the deadlines. You need to set some deadlines. Okay, by this time I should go for and this kind of literature survey, because deadline is also important. But deadline you should not mean that okay you should always remember the deadline, you have some fixed deadline. Okay, I should do the research, like you should remember that okay I have the 3 years time to develop my research ability, and your supervisor thinks that you have developed sufficient skills and you are able to do independent research, then you will be awarded the PhD degree. Actually you are going to publish the paper, you are writing the paper, and writing the paper is also very challenging job. It's not easy. Writing the paper is not easy job. You have some idea, and how you are going to produce your idea, this is very very important. Somebody has idea but they are not able to present their idea, so your idea should be in presentable form. And while you are going to present your idea, you have to know that who is the reader, who are going to read your paper, who are the audience, who will get the benefit from your research articles. So with respect to them, considering that okay you are writing the research papers for the researchers, for the readers, or for the beginners, accordingly you have to present your idea. Because writing the research paper and writing the notes for the teaching is totally different thing. Once you are writing the research paper, you have to care about each and every word you are going to use, and unnecessary you should not repeat the word. Unnecessary you should not repeat the information more than one place. If one information you have told at one place, the same information you should not go for repetition in other places, because you know that in the size of number of pages in the research papers are limited, you are not able to write the more number of pages. And while you are going to present your paper, and if you have the 20-page paper, then you should prove that okay the length of the paper is matching with the contribution, your contribution. If people find that okay the length is 20 but the same contribution you can present within the 3 to 4 pages, then immediately your reviewers, your referee will tell you that, okay, yes, your length of paper is not matching with the contribution. So better to sort your paper and write concise paper for that. So unnecessary definitions you have studied, it is not the node. You are writing the paper for the scientist. So this is the skill you are going to develop. So while you are going to do the PhD, you are going to develop all such kind of skills. You will you will have the ability to manage your time. Now you have the several activities running parallelly. You might have some academic responsibility, you have some responsibility from your work, you from your home, from your dependents, all kinds of responsibilities you are having, but you have to manage your time. You need to learn that how to manage your time, because everybody has the finite amount of time. And if you are efficient manager for your time, then at the right time you will be able to achieve your goal. So while you are going to do the PhD, you are lot of skills you are going to learn. It's not the case that, okay, always you are getting, it is a tough, you believe that, okay, it is a tough, it is the frustrating job and you are not doing to do the PhD. If you are not achieving the PhD degree, then always you will be lacking for the confidence, and always you will be dependent to the others, and always you will feel that, okay, somebody should guide me for doing this kind of. Once you have done the genuine research during the tenure of your research, then believe me that once you stand in your class and once you you are delivering your uh, lecture to the students, then this will be totally different as you are delivering today. Then at that time you will not follow the simply definition of the written and definition written in the book. You will write in the class your own definition, and you will tell your students, okay, this is the line of work presently people are doing, and this is the kind of research you have to involve, and this is the emerging research areas. So lot of skills you will need to develop. Number of places you have to communicate your ideas. Number of places in your meeting or anywhere you have to communicate that what you want to do. And this, how you can, while you are going to do the PhD, you will have the writing skills, you will have the presentation skill, and you will learn that how to write in the concise and complete. So all skills you are going to learn, and in every job, every kind of job, irrespective of the teaching or research or in IT field, and every job needs this kind of skills. So see that there are a lot of advantage of doing the PhD. PhD is tough, but while you are going to achieve the PhD degree, then you will have lot of advantages. And after that, your personality, you will totally transform. Your personality will be different, and your PhD will look, somebody will can see the PhD in your face. Well, yes, he or she has done the research work, and he is the person where I can take the guidance and like the things, and people will respect you. You will get the recognition, and then actually you are going to recognize having the PhD nowadays. See that nowadays number of people are doing the PhD, and earlier you know that some people are doing the PhD with their own motivation, but nowadays they are forced to do the PhD because of the requirement of the academic institutions. So you are lacking the motivation, you have just remember the goals, and because of that actually you think that, okay, it anyhow I can do the PhD. You are thinking that, okay, it anyhow I should be able to get the PhD degree, and you just for the fulfilling the requirement, you are publishing your papers in the local papers, local conferences, and with the intuition that you have just count, this is the requirement to get the PhD, and you are just counting the papers whether or not your paper is being referred by other persons. You are not worry about that. You are just worry about your PhD. At anyhow I should count the number of papers and I can present it anyhow. And say that if you have not done the original work, then writing one line of thesis is very, very difficult. So you in the thesis, in the research thesis, actually you have to write at least 150 pages onward, at least. besides your other material. So your original contribution should go 100, at least 125 at minimum requirement, minimum uh, thesis length should be 125 pages, except only contribution. It is not including your certificate or other information or bibliography or references. No, only contribution pages should be 125. And writing 100 to 125 page, if you have not done the research genuinely, it is very, very difficult task. So writing each and every line of your research thesis is not an easy job if you have not done the research. Otherwise, if somebody, if even your guide will say that, okay, write the thesis, then what you will write if you don't have the research? What you can write? Then you are going to make the cut and paste. And then you are learning the skill that how nowadays actually that there is a software, there are softwares people are using for checking the plagiarism. But I believe that you are the best software for checking your plagiarism. Nobody else can check your plagiarism because you know better that where you have plagiarized the material, where you have not plagiarized the material. So you should have the confidence actually. Software, you should not say that my software says that students nowadays students comes that okay, sir, my software says that it is accuracy plagiarism is less than 10%. But see that there are also actually, if you are not doing the genuine research, then you are learning the skill how to cheat the software also. So you are making some kind of, you are learning, you are seeing the weakness of the software, and you are making the expertise for that, okay, for getting the plagiarism less. So instead of that, you have to work genuinely and don't write your thought, your findings in your own sentences, write in your simple sentences. And this is the skill which is known as the communication skills you need to see, presentation skills you need to learn. You are right, you are reading the papers, research papers, and you are reading the research papers, and at the time of reading the research paper, you don't have any idea at present time while you are going for the literature survey. I'm sure that you are reading some paper, and while reading the papers, you don't have such kind of uh, learning actually, and you are not observing the things written in the research paper. But when you have some contribution and when your turn comes to write the research paper, then at that time, once you sit with the help of pencil and paper, and then you will not be able to write even the sentences that, and at that time, even you have the contribution, you will feel that how I can write the research paper, how I can write my ideas, whatever ideas I have, and whatever experimental results I have, how I need to present the paper, how I need to present so that people can study my paper. Actually, once you are going to present your paper, then if if you are not motivating the readers to study your paper, then nobody is interested for reading your papers. So you need to more motivate the readers while reading the research papers. And when you go for writing the research paper, then you will come to know that okay, how I can write. Then you will see the papers you have studied. Then you will go back and you will refer the abstract of the paper. Then you will come to learn that okay, how people have written the abstract of the paper. Most of the students are not able to write the abstract of the paper. They are writing the abstract in 1 page or 2 page. This is not the abstract. They are not able to write the introduction. They are not able to formulate the flow of their presentations. So all such skills, whenever your turn come to write the paper, then whatever paper, waste paper you have studied, whatever renowned, genuine paper you have studied in good journals like IEEE, ACM, elsewhere, Taylor Francis, like these are the good journals. If you have studied these paper, then then you have to go back to see that how people have presented their results, how people have written their conclusions, and how people have written their methodology, and how they have analyzed their work, and how they have begun the paper from the abstract, and while writing the keyword. So presentation is also very important. Means presentation means you are not able to personally dictate your work. So you are giving in the writing in the document, and reviewers are going to read your thoughts. So it is highly needed that you have to write the thought in more clear and sequential way, so that your people should easily come to know. So this is the this is the skills actually you are going to get in the PhD. So while you are going to do the PhD, you are learning all such kinds of skill, and see that it's not only you are not only getting benefit from your promotion, you are getting benefit from all such fields. So this is the motivation. You should feel like this. You should be the contribution. You will be known as the contributor, and you don't know your work. Somebody after 10 years or 12 years, your work may be very useful for the persons. So this is the kind of motivation you need to develop, and difficulty is nothing. So if you feel difficult, things are difficult once you feel difficult. This is the only game of the mind setup. And nowadays, you know that in earlier, you should also not thought that you should also not think that for doing the research you need a very intelligent mind. Intelligence is not required at all while you are going to do the research. Only requirement is what? Consistency. So once you are consistent and you have the patience, then you can do the research. So continuous improvement must be there. Otherwise, you should. So you will feel the burdens. So for the research work, actually, you don't believe that you are not able to do research. And most of the time, actually, research scholars think that I am not intelligent person and I cannot do research. This is not required at all. You should not always think to quit the things. You should always try, because once you try again and again, then the things will be in favor of you. Nowadays, earlier people believe that there is a natural born intelligence. Those who are conducting the research, they are the natural born intelligence. But no, neuroscientists have come to know that it is not the case. That they believe that there is every day in the human brain, in the hippocampus, new neurons are born. You know that neurons, in the brain we have the neurons, and neurons have number of connectivities. So every day of your life, the new neurons are born, and it is up to you to use the neurons. So if you are not using the neurons, their synapses become big and they will not survive. So you have to strengthen them. How you can strengthen the neurons? While you are using your brain for thinking in some genuine problems, for solving some genuine problem, for solving your problems. And if you use your brain, then every day if you use your brain, then actually your whatever neurons is produced, they will survive. And the synapses, means bonding between the neurons, becomes strong and strong. So there is nothing natural born intelligence. Every day new neurons are born, and if you are not using the neurons, they are not survive. So you have to build the neuro structure. So every day, I told you that you should not think that, okay, I will study one day 24 hours or one day 18 hours and then 10 days you are not working. No, you should not do like this. Because in one day, if you are working 18 hours, for example, then you will remember only for very few time. Maybe after 10 hours or 24 days you may remember, but after 24 days you may not be remember. But if you learn the information bit by bit, then you will remember for long times. So build the neurostructure. Your neurostructure should be strong. In one day, those who are learning only one day before for the examination, they can give the examination, but after the examination they forget everything. because the neurostructure they have produced is not strength. So you have to give the strength in your neurostructure. Bit by bit information you have to feed. And it, it sometimes, if you have sufficient data in your brain, then automatically during your sleep, the random synapses, random connectivity will form, and you will have some new idea for the solutions. There are a number of examples where, due to sudden ideas, people have given the notable discoveries. So how your sudden ideas comes. Your sudden ideas comes once you have data in your mind. Means once you are using your neurons every day, those neurons are born. You are using your neurons for thinking on the problem, critical thinking on the problems, for feeding the data inside your brain. And once you have the sufficient data in your brain, then even while you are going to sleep, your brain is going to work, and you don't know that once you awake at the morning, once you get up at the morning, you will come up with the new ideas. But how this new idea will come? Once you have the data in your mind. The data must be there. Empty mind cannot produce any idea. So once you have sufficient data in your mind, then automatically neuroconnectivity will be formed at the while you are going to relax during the sleep, and you will have sudden ideas. So lot of examples are there where people have get sudden ideas. So you don't know when the ideas click, because ideas are floating around you, and it is up to you actually how to capture the ideas. So see that, you may believe or not, PhD is not a, people think that PhD is pretty tough, but I believe that PhD is not a tough at all. Everyone has some finite amount of energy, finite amount of time to perform. So if you are, see, the thing is that criticizing and whining will not work. Even you are making the complaint and complaint, sir, I'm not able to work because I don't have the paper, I don't have the light, I don't have the internet, I don't have this kind of laptop, I don't find time, I am busy with my workplace, and my guide is not giving me time. Your this kind of complaint, you are always, when you are hiding your weakness, actually you are just making such kind of complaints and criticizing and whining the people. So he's actually criticizing and whining doesn't solve problems actually. So instead of criticizing, you should focus on your work, and you have to remember that you have some finite amount of time. Everything is possible. Nothing is impossible. Only you need the focused approach. This is the main objective, is that never give up. Those who have this kind of intuition in their mind setup, that whatever happen, I can take as a challenge that I can achieve this goal. I will do. It may take 1 year time, it may take 3 years time. Every day I will learn, and at some point onward, I will have sufficient information. Then I can do the work. If I'm not having the ideas at present time, it means you are lacking with the information. You don't have the sufficient information at that time. So what you need to do, you need to get the information. You go for the collecting the information. And as soon as you have the sufficient information in your mind, sufficient data in your mind, then you see the capacity of your brain. Then your brain has tremendous capacity, and your brain will work to give you some new ideas, to give some new way of thinking the problems. Because your mind is, you have different kind of examples, you have seen the different kind of examples, you have different kind of experience, you have studied the different particular courses, you are surrounding with the different communities, you have lived in the different kind of environment, so you have different kind of thinking actually. So everybody has different kind of thinking. That's why even you are solving only the same problem, but the way of solving the problem may be will be different, and you don't think that you may be able to solve the problem very efficiently, and that may become the basis of other inventions. So this is not the thing to worry. Only thing is to get the information and right data. You need to get the right information. You should not keep the garbage in your mind, otherwise the garbage in and garbage output. So that's why you have to study the genuine source. You have to study from the genuine source, genuine book, renowned papers, reputed papers, accepted paper, reviewed paper, the people have accepted thoroughly, then they publish actually. So once you go for publication in the local journals without proper review, they by taking some charges and they are going to publish. And this is the kind of academic pollutions nowadays, you know that. So this is the academic pollution. So, but you cannot stop this academic pollution. You can change yourself and you can study the good source of information. And once you have the good source of information, and whenever you have the sufficient background and sufficient information, sufficient data, then believe me that automatically you will have the idea. So once you have the data and then you have everything in your mind, then whether you are sleeping, whether you are eating, whether you are walking, whether you are teaching, whether you are giving the initialization duty, whatever jobs you are going to do, you are always thinking, you will always have thinking in your mind that, okay, this is the problem. These are the algorithms available. I have read the algorithms in the literature. And these are the algorithms available in the literatures. And people have solved this way, they have solved this way, but this is the problem. So can I use my experience? Can I mix up the techniques so that I can give the good formulations? So your mind will work. Who is going to stop you? Even you are doing your work, even you are sitting at home, even you are watching your TV, but you in the background you should run your data. You should have the data and you can work on the data. So data, collecting the data in your mind is very important. It means, and how you will collect the data? When you have go for the literature survey. The main weakness is the literature survey. That's why again and again I will point during this coursework that you have to do the literature survey. If you are weak in the literature survey, you will be weak in the contribution. Literature survey is primarily important. This is not the wastage of time. Most of the people think that literature survey is the wastage of time. This is not the wastage of time. For thinking about some problem, you have to give more time for collecting the information. You should study the problems, and most of the time people are not getting the proper what are the problems they are taking, what is the deterministic research problem they have taken. They are always confused that what will be the input and what will be the output. They are not getting anything that, okay, if this is the input, I want to get this kind of output. So your problems should be deterministic one. You should be clear in your problems. If you have the clear, if you are having the clear mindset up, then automatically you will have the clear ideas. So literature review is very, very important. You may take 6 months time, you may take 1 year time, 2 years time, no problem at all. Don't think that this is the wastage of time. Don't believe that, okay, I have studied several things, I have 25 years experience, and I don't require to read other papers, I will contribute. If you are not giving the more weightage for the literature survey, you will not be able to do the PhD. Otherwise, PhD is a very easy job. The PhD becomes difficult for those who are not studying the literatures. Literature survey is very, very important. The first important thing is that the first goal is that you have to collect the number of research papers and good research paper of your close line of work. In the area where you are going to work, on that area, you have to start the paper, searching the paper from the beginnings, from where you think that from where this problem originate and who was the first person contributed in this problem. That will be the seminal work. And look at the seminal work. And next, see that what are the advancement have been done on this seminal work and what are the present situation of this field. And if you have this kind of literature survey, this kind of formulations if you have in your mind, then who can stop to produce the knowledge? You will be able to produce the new knowledge, and then you will be able to push the knowledge boundary. And this is the requirement of PhD. So it is not a difficult job. It is very easy, but your approach should be systematic.